art and culture transcends a particular time. So the idea of a legacy, an enduring legacy that extends beyond centuries, is one that is possible through the arts and culture theme. Arts and culture have been hugely important to the University of Leeds. Our strand is looking to stimulate new work, whether it's poetry, music, painting. It's looking to draw on the hugely rich archives that we've got here, the collections of rare books and manuscripts. And it's also looking to stimulate new work with our postgraduate students who will be forming a college of postgraduate students. And perhaps not least, there is a move to reinvent a very rich tradition at this university, which is one of cultural fellows.
In the 1950s, with the support of Eric Gregory, the university developed an intriguing and exciting series of cultural fellowships. The intention was for artists to work both with students and with the broader community, and also to get a sense of what it was to be working in a university. One of the purposes of the earlier Gregory Fellow schemes was to bring younger artists into close touch with the youth of the country so they may influence it. Now, this is interesting for me. I came here, I was one of those said youths of the country, and I came to the University of Leeds in 1975, and I was thoroughly and completely influenced by Peter Paul Nash, and he had a tremendous influence on me. And I'm looking forward to the point where this new generation of cultural fellows can have the same influence on a new generation of students.
We sit on a fantastically rich tradition. We've got wonderful archives, a great tradition of writers present within the academic community. We can build on that, celebrate that perhaps more than we've ever done in the past. I think there's a great wealth there, and we need to shout about it. What we have at Leeds are poets whose experiences, such as Tony Harrison, or John Silkin. Their poetry is rooted in that experience, in that identity of being in the North, being in Leeds. In its quality is international. So we can mix the local and the international. As a university, I think that's really important, that we have a distinctive identity that's rooted in our cultural history and in our region, and we can share that with international partners. So part of what we're about with this new project is to rethink a foundation for the future, but also building on the past.
We're looking to bring in new people, young people, to give them the freedom, the space, the energy and the excitement of being on campus so that they can create new work, which will hopefully be edgy and bold. And of course, we would hope that they would interact with the wider community in Leeds and the region.
The Doctoral College of the Arts is a project that's aiming to try and create a very new kind of experience, both for our undergraduate students and for our postgraduate students in the arts and humanities. And our idea is really to use this project to try and get our undergraduate students to start thinking as freely as possible, to give them a framework, if you like, within which they can explore ideas which perhaps they might otherwise not be encouraged to explore.
I always felt that something was missing for me. I wanted my brain to be stretched in a different way, and I was always fascinated by religion and fascinated by my subject. I feel absolutely privileged to be able to spend 3 years focusing on a research topic that I've designed. Really inspires me. And not only that, but I feel privileged to be able to share that with bright and enthusiastic undergraduates and other postgraduates, because then it does feel like a community, a research community that we're all taking forward.
This project will benefit society at large because it'll create this very, very energetic, enthused cohort of postgraduate and undergraduate students who'll be going out into the world having had this very interesting, very unusual experience where learning for learning's own sake has been valued, perhaps in ways that otherwise might not be possible. And that's going to have a knock-on effect really for the whole of society.
Special Collections at the University of Leeds has world-renowned material here. We've got 5 collections that have been designated of national and international importance, and one of these is our literary archives and manuscripts. So this project, the Literary Archives project, is designed to help make this collection more accessible, to encourage students at the University of Leeds, but people from outside the university, to find out more about this stuff that can only be found here at Leeds.
We've got some leading edge stuff going on in this place. It's phenomenal. Got the most incredible collection of first folio Shakespeare, for God's sake. I mean, and I've seen it.
So that's the first time that his plays were collected together in 1623. That's incredibly rare. We have it here. We've also got a lot of manuscript material from writers such as the Bronte family and Elizabeth Gaskell, some really key 19th century figures. And again, this is the only place in the world that you can access this material.
So we have a unique resource. It's a unique resource that's been added to through philanthropic giving, and obviously these things develop and move on. We can't just have a static archive that's the past. We need to develop and nurture it for future generations to ensure the legacy that's already here.
You know, anything you can help towards that kind of thing, I think is hugely important.
The impact of what we're hoping to do in the arts and culture strand is going to be extremely wide and multifaceted. As we've seen from the history of the university, that new work that's come together here in Leeds within the context of the university has gone on to have national impact. It's had an impact on the cultural life of the nation.
But we see this as the start of the revival and renaissance on one of the great traditions of this great university.
What would make me proudest would be that we can replicate that history, make our own history for the next generation, so that Leeds and Leeds University in particular can be associated once again with international creativity.
It's all about the creative process, which I think is fantastic and really hugely important in any civilization. You know, you have a civilization of human beings because of the creative arts, the things that make people understand human nature better, the things that stimulate a sense of culture and sophistication and urbanity. I mean, all those things matter.
It's an opportunity to make sure that the rich philanthropy of the past, when one thinks of Lord Brotherton and the magnificent library and special collections, when one thinks of the Gregory Fellowships, which brought so many household names, artists, poets and painters onto campus, the opportunity is there to make this thing not something of the past, not something that we look back upon wistfully and nostalgically and wish we still had it. It's an opportunity to revivify it, to take it forward into our present century and to create a legacy that is even greater than the one we currently have. Please do support our campaign. It's a unique opportunity. Do take it.